was trinkt ihr? Wenn jeder jetzt was trinken tut, dann wird das lustig hier. Wir trinken Bier, das hält uns fit. Und wenn der Morgen streiken tut, dann trinken wir Aquafit.
Welcome again to the Beer Channel. John Staradomsky here with a beer today that I'm pretty excited about. Actually, it's a beer from Narragansett Brewing Company in Rhode Island. Narragansett, of course, is a beer with a long history. For many years, Narragansett was the dominant brewery in New England, going back to the turn of the last century, into beginning early 1900s and beyond. So unfortunately, the brewery closed in 1981, which was just before, probably a year before I really started to get interested in drinking beer. So I wasn't there for Narragansett Part 1, but I was on hand in 2006 for the reboot, if you will. That's when the company was restarted by a group of investors in Rhode Island. They actually, today, they don't have a brewery yet, although they would like to, and they're working on it. They're trying to raise funds to build a brewery in Rhode Island, and more power to them for that. Would love to see a Narragansett brewery in Rhode Island once again. Many of the beers that they make today, some of them were inspired by beers that Narragansett made in its heyday. You actually can buy their beers throughout most of New England today, Pennsylvania, and I just got an email this week that they're expanding into North Carolina. Not in Georgia yet, and would like to see them here, but that kind of segues nicely into our next topic, which is beerjobber.com. So BeerJobber is a new website that allows you to buy beer online, and you can actually have it shipped to your house. Sometimes it's straight from the brewery, or sometimes they'll ship it from their facilities. If they do, they actually do some mixed sampler cases of 12-ounce bombers and such, and they'll mix them up and ship them to you. But other than that, they'll arrange for the brewer. You can't get it in brewer to ship. You can't get it in every state. Some states don't allow it. The BeerJobber website has information where they'll work with the state Department of Revenue and make sure that they pay the appropriate taxes and that it's okay to ship beer into your state. And there's also the matter of the states that the beer has to pass through, what their regulations are for alcohol going through their borders by either UPS or FedEx. But anyway, my first experience ordering beer with BeerJobber, there were a few kinks. The beer got here a little bit later than I expected, not because of UPS or any delay on their part, but because it was a little bit late shipping out the warehouse. But their BeerJobber's customer service was excellent, and there were some complications. And again, they're just working on this process. I was very happy today when UPS pulled up with the beer. I would recommend the service. Ended up costing me about $60, but for that $60, I got a case of 24 16-ounce cans of Narragansett Cream Ale. And of course, Narragansett Cream Ale is a beer that the old Narragansett brewery made, and it was an option for a spring beer from Narragansett. They let their fans vote on this or a rye ale, and the Cream Ale won out. $60, to some that might seem a little prohibitive, but when you think about it, 16-ounce cans, you get 4 or 6 packs, works out to about $15 a piece, including shipping, and yeah, that's a little bit. You're getting a little bit more because they're Kinger cans, but I think it's worth it because again, I'm not going to be able to go get this beer run down the liquor store and pick it up. Even when I do these days, some of the craft brews are going to run you close to $15 a 6-pack. So to me, it's worth it to have a taste of New England. The Narragansett beers today are actually contract brewed. Some of the styles are brewed in Rhode Island at other facilities. Trinity Brewing is making some of them for them. But the other ones are the lager, for example. And I happen to have a can of Narragansett lager here. The cream ale and some of the other ones are brewed in Rochester, New York. at Genesee. So it says right here on the can, that's the Narragansett Brewing Company, Rochester, New York. And that's kind of, you know, a little bit fitting, I guess, because cream ale is a style that really Genesee is identified with. Cream ale is a hybrid beer. It's a lot like a German Kolsch, and it's actually fermented at ale temperatures with ale yeast. But to clean it and to round it out, they are going to cold lager it, cold age it. Again, it's uniquely American, maybe a little bit German inspired, but it's nice to know we have a beer of our own. They're usually not all that bold, aggressive. You're not going to find a ton of hops or a lot of malt in these beers. Classic cream ale, anyway, is not known for that. But in any event, to me, it's a good warm weather quencher, and we've got the warm weather right around the corner. So let's get a start on this. And I'll pop the can, and of course I've got a Narragansett pint glass that I had to dig out that I bought a few years ago. This old beat up Narragansett t-shirt. Very fitting for the review of the beer. You can see it's highly carbonated, light golden color, not all that dissimilar to their lager. And we've got a big head of foam on there, very fizzy, a lot of carbonation rising through the glass. So let you see that there. Very slight bit of malt in the nose. Very crisp. I'm taking a sip. It's there's a lot of biscuit malt there. This is very fresh too, by the way. It did come straight from the brewery, not from the brewery, but from Narragansett Brewing Company in Warwick, Rhode Island. Really crisp and drinkable. The malt is I think the best part of this beer. There are no adjuncts, so at least that I can taste. I think I think this crispness and really the way the very subtle toastiness of the malt comes through, it makes for a very refreshing beer. So, you know, with cream ale, obviously they're not going for you're not going to get a dark imperial stout or a hoppy IPA. You're going to get a cream ale, and I think they've done a good job with that. I think there's more hops in the finish than I was expecting. I did let the beer warm up a little. I took the can out about 30 minutes before I started the fridge, before I started the process of this review. And I don't like to fall into the trap of, even with a beer like this, drinking it too cold, because you're going to miss those flavors. And there is a pretty noticeable grassy hop bitterness in the finish. That's a refreshing beer. Again, I respect it for the clean clean maltiness of this beer, and the balancing to slightly more than balancing hops in the finish. You probably could chill it down and on a really hot day drink it ice cold if you wanted to, but I'm really enjoying it at a little bit less than room temperature right now. So I would recommend it. I would recommend if you can't get Narragansett beers where you are, not and you don't have the emotional attachment to Narragansett. Not sure if it's worth picking up for $60. I would buy it again. I think I'll be buying more Narragansett beers through Beer Jobber, probably beer from other areas that aren't distributed here in Georgia. But if you do live in an area where they sell Narragansett beer and you can get the cream ale, grab a 6-pack of Kingers, and I think you'll be glad you did, and you'll enjoy it. If you do happen to try it and like it, or maybe even if you don't, drop me an email, brewguru@brewguru.com. Let me know what you think, and cheers.